Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel for episode 3. Really excited for this one because this is one of those subjects that I really struggled with, and it's all about how to choose the right seed for your project. I'm not using any warm season type of grass here, but I do encourage you all just to look at your maps and really look at where you are in the country, and that will dictate what type of grass seed will thrive in your area. Now, I could have gone either way. Really, the cool season grasses will probably be doing me the best where I am here in Delaware. If you do look at a lot of these maps, it kind of falls into the transition zone, but it really hugs that cool season grass area fairly closely. So what I'm going with is turf type tall fescue, but depending on where you are in the country, you might fall into the category of wanting warm season grass types, and that's okay. I think this video can apply to everybody in terms of the approach I took to selecting the seed, but I just want to make that point that if you're far down south, turf type tall fescue may or may not be the right choice for you. But for me, this seemed like the one that's really going to give me the best results based on the research that I did. Now, a little bit on the research, you can really go into a rabbit hole with this one. There's just so many different varieties out there. Choosing the one that's going to work for you can be a little daunting. I think that we can all agree with all the work that you might be putting into renovating your yard, the most important thing is quality seed. That is the number one priority that you want to focus on. The reason why I'm starting from scratch is because, one, I had a lot of weeds here, probably more weeds than I had grass, right? So that was issue number one, that if you can see behind me, well on its way to resolving itself. But two is the variety of grasses. There's so much more technology and science that goes into developing these seed varieties that they've just come a long way in recent years. So I encourage you to do some research, but I can also see how this could be a little bit overwhelming. So I'll, fill you guys in on my approach, what I decided, and hopefully I can cut out some of the parts that might overwhelm you and really just give you what you need to know and what will get you the best results regardless. All right, so here we have different options of grass seed that you can go with. Now, let me preface by saying that I do not plan to use this on my backyard, and I will explain why. So one of the things you need to consider is the labels on these grass types. What you'll find on these labels is really good information of what is in the bag. Now, you probably don't have to read the label to realize that this is not going to be good quality seed, because for one, you already see it on the bag itself in red that this is an economical lawn. Now, I didn't study economics, but I am willing to bet this was an affordable option, but not necessarily the highest quality seed. And there's truth to that, right? If you look at the label, one of the things to keep in mind is the percentage of weed seed that is in the bag. Now, in this particular bag, it's 0.15%. Objectively, you're thinking, well, that is not a whole lot at all. It's not even 1%. So there must be very, very little weed seed in this bag. And while that is correct, you are actually putting down quite a bit of weed seeds in your lawn that you don't want to be there. And there are a couple of different options on the market that will guarantee 0.00% weed seed, and that is the type of quality that you're looking for. Now, before I did any research whatsoever, first thing you want to nail down is what type of grass that you want. So like I've said already, turf type tall fescue is what I was looking for. Now, the second thing that will require some research is just Googling good quality turf type tall fescue, and you'll come across a bunch of different brands. If you go to the big box stores, you're generally going to find this type of quality. You might come across one where there's 0% weed seeds in the bag. That's a good indicator that it's a good quality seed, right? That's the first thing that you want to look for. The other thing you want to look for is the type of actual grass seed in the mix, and by the type I mean the variety that goes in there. Now, this is not super critical, and this can get really complicated really fast, but if you go to ntep.org, which stands for the National Turf Grass Evaluation Program, there's actually studies, and a lot of these companies go out there and provide their grass seed to be studied, and it will evaluate the quality of that seed in different climates around the country. Now, this is where it can get super complex really fast, and quite frankly, those reports are not very easy to read. Now, they go through different things in terms of an overall summary. They provide you the quality of the grass against different disease, like brown patch, for example. The color, they rate the different color depending on the time of year, and it really goes into detail. So if you're somebody like that who really likes to dive into the details, really wants to look at the scientific research, have at it. You know, ntep.org is a place for you. You can basically look at the closest region to you and look up the seed that were studied in that area, and you can go about it in terms of trying to identify who supplies that seed so that you can use it for your own backyard. In my case, that was quite overwhelming for me. I'm not looking to have the top 3 performers in Delaware in my backyard whatsoever. I wanted something that was easy, straightforward, but also smart. I'm going through all this effort to put a good quality seed down. I'd want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And so that's where these boxes come into play. I'll do a little unboxing video for you all. As you can tell, I already digged into the first one, but this is the approach that I took, and I just want to share it with you all because I really think that if you really want to avoid all the research but want a good quality seed, this is probably the best approach that I can offer you of how you can get the best product at the end of the day. All right, ladies and gents, so here is the big reveal, the grass seed type that I chose, and I'll fill you guys in on one of the reasons why I chose to go this route. So without further ado, seedsuperstore.com. So couple things about this particular grass seed. For one, the primary reason why I decided to go this route is it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you could really go down a wormhole in terms of all the research that you can do. One of the things that makes this particular supplier super easy is that you can plug in your zip code on their website and they will recommend type of seed that would do best in your area. So for me, the SS1000 was the blend that performs well in my area, and the website will give you the details in terms of the different varieties and cultivars of grass seed that are in this particular blend. I did go to the NTEP website to see how these 3 different varieties of grass seed fared on the results, and they did well. If you want to go out and try to find, you know, different suppliers and identify a specific type of cultivar that you're really aiming to get, by all means go for it. But if you're somebody who really just wants to have a nice looking yard, something that is a step above, you know, what you can find in the big box stores, I just was worrying more about the quality, not necessarily about economics, which is obviously one of the ways you can go if you want in the first approach. But again, not the aim of this video. I want to, you know, put good quality seed down, and so that's what I'm doing here. Other thing I just wanted to mention is this blue label. This blue label really just means that the seed that's in this bag is certified. Basically just guarantees that the percentages on the particular label are in fact verified and true. So when it says it's 0.00% weeds, that is in fact the case when, you know, you actually do the research and analyze everything that's in this bag. So whenever you see this blue label, it's just that much more guarantee that what you're getting is a good quality seed. So some of you might be assuming that the second box is just the exact same thing that I pulled out. A reminder, I have 4,500 square feet. Usually it's about, close to, I would say 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet that you want to put down. So I am looking at about 45 pounds that I would need to cover the 4,500 square feet that I have here. Math is right, not even sure. All right, guys, so I fact checked that, and yes, about 10 pounds covers about 1,000 square feet when you're reseeding a lawn. So 4,500 square feet is what I have. I would need 45 pounds of grass seed to cover the 45. I have a 25-pound bag right there, have another 25-pound bag here. I got a little bit creative, and I decided to go with a different variety. Now, you can mix and match. That's the whole point of some of these places providing blends of grass seed, because especially if you're in the transition zone, there's not one grass seed type that is going to perform well. A lot of these blends, for example, will have different types of grass seed. So not all just tall fescue. It might be some ryegrass mixed in there, some Kentucky bluegrass. So really, you can go and be creative all you want. That is primarily what I'm aiming for in terms of just wanting solid cultivars in my yard. That's turf type tall fescue. This as well is turf type tall fescue, but there's something special in this box that's a little bit different from that one, and I'm excited to show you guys. So, true unboxing here. Never even opened this one, not really sure what to expect here, but I'm super excited to dig into it and show you guys what it is that I'm gonna be blending into that one to get my 50 pounds of grass seed to put down in this yard. So stay tuned for that episode coming up on the next one. Thanks for joining.